Hello, my children. It's Papa Voodoo, the teacher of the unknown. The other day I was speaking to a friend of mine on how this has been a crazy year, 2020. But the summer was great. I've seen so many people going to the beach and doing the number one thing, swimming and barbecuing and having a great time. But do we really know what swims under the ocean? Today's lesson is creatures of the deep. Let's start with the beauties of the ocean. Mermaids. The fish-body females or males, which are called mermen. And yes, before you ask, a group of them are called merfolk. In folklore, a mermaid is an aquatic creature with the head and upper body of a female human or male, and the tail of a fish. Mermaids appear in many folklore of many different cultures worldwide, including the Near Asia, Near East, Europe, Asia, and Africa. In ancient Assyria, the goddess Eregatus transformed herself into a mermaid out of the shame for accidentally killing her human lover. Mermaids are sometimes associated with perilous events such as floods, storms, shipwrecks, and drownings. In other folk tradition, or sometimes within the same tradition, they can be benevolent or beneficent, bestowing boons or falling in love with humans. The male equivalent of the mermaids, I said earlier, is the mermen, also a figure in folklore and heritage. Although traditions about and sightings of mermen are less common than those of mermaids, they are generally assumed to coexist with their female counterparts. The male and the female collectively, like I mentioned, are sometimes referred to as merfolk or merpeople. The conception of mermaids in the West may have been influenced by the sirens of Greek mythology, which were originally half bird-like, but came to be pictured as half fish-like in the Christian era. Historical accounts of mermaids, such as the ones reported by Christopher Columbus during his exploration of the Caribbean, may have been sightings of manatees or similar aquatic animals. Now, my question to you is this: how drunk were those sailors to mistake a mermaid for a manatee? While there is no evidence that mermaids exist outside of folklore, reports of mermaid sightings continue to the present day. The word mermaid is a compound of the Old English mer, which means sea, and maid, a young girl or young woman. The equivalent term in Old English was merwith. They are conventionally depicted as beautiful women with long, flowing hair. Some attributes of Homer's sirens, such as the enchantment of men with their beautiful songs, also came attached to the mermaid. As I said before, naturalist theories on the origins of the mermaid postulating they derive from sightings of manatees or dugongs or even seals. So next time you're in a boat and you hear beautiful music, steer the opposite way. This next one is one that I mentioned just slightly in my last lesson, which was the Kraken. Although people think that they are fictional and the subject of myth, the legend of the Kraken continues to the present day, with numerous references existing in film, literature, television, and other popular culture topics. The Kraken is a legendary cephalopod-like sea monster of gigantic size in Scandinavian folklore. According to the Norse saga, the kraken dwells off the coast of Norway and Greenland and terrorizes nearby sailors. Authors over the years have postulated that the legend may have originated from the sightings of giant squids that may grow to 13 to 15 meters, 40 to 50 feet in length. The sheer size and fearsome appearance of attributes to the kraken have made it to a common ocean-dwelling monster in various fictional works. The kraken has been the focus of many superstitious sailors passing the North Atlantic, and especially sailors from the Nordic countries due to their proximity and its Scandinavian origins. Throughout the centuries, the kraken has been a staple part of sailor superstitions and mythos, being heavily linked to sailors' ability of telling a tall tale. Since the late 18th century, krakens have been depicted in a number of ways, primarily as a large octopus-like creature, and it has often been alleged that the Pontopolis kraken might have been based on a sailor's observation of a giant squid. The kraken is also depicted to have spikes on its suckers. In the earlier descriptions, however, the creature was more crab-like than octopus-like, and generally possessed traits that are associated with large whales rather than giant squids. So, I think that what sailors saw were giant squids. But is that possible? Well, in 2004, researchers in Japan took the first images ever of a live giant squid. And in the late 2006, scientists with the Japanese National Science Museum caught and brought to the surface a live 24-foot female giant squid. And since then, they've seen even larger ones. So is it a myth when you have proof they exist? Or do we wait for a boat to disappear to try to search for the truth? Hey, if you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified of upcoming videos. Now, we cannot speak of a creature without talking about the megalodon. This is the creature that gave us the reason why millions of people are scared to swim in the ocean. Since the movie Jaws, it brought attention to the great white and the possibility that megalodon still may exist. Megalodon, meaning big tooth, is an extinct species of shark that lived 23 to 36 million years ago. During the Miocene to the Pliocene, it was formerly thought to be a member of the family Lemmidae and a close relative of the great white shark. While regarded as one of the largest and most powerful predators to ever live, Megalodon is known for fragmentary remains, and its appearance and maximum size are uncertain. Scientists differ on whether it would have more closely resembled a stockier version of the great white shark, the basking shark, or the sand tiger shark. Most estimates of Megalodon's size extrapolated from teeth, with maximum length estimated up to 18 meters, that's 59 feet, and the average length estimated at 10.5 meters, 34 feet. Estimates suggest that their large jaws could exert a bite force up to 110,000 to 180,000 newtons, which is 25,000 to 40,000 pounds per square foot. That kind of force can easily bite through an SUV with no problems. Their teeth were thick and robust, built for grabbing prey and breaking bones. Megalodon probably had a major impact on the structure of the marine communities. The fossil records indicate that it had a cosmopolitan distribution. It probably targeted large prey such as whales, seals, and sea turtles. Juveniles inhabited warm coastal waters and fed on fish and small whales, unlike the great white, which attacks prey from the soft underside. Megalodon probably used its strong jaws to break through the chest cavity and puncture the heart and lungs of its prey. The animal faced competition from whale-eating cetaceans such as Leviathan and other sperm whales, and possibly smaller ancestral killer whales. As the shark preferred warmer waters, it is thought that the oceanic cooling associated with the onset of the Ice Age, coupled with the lowering of sea levels and the resulting loss of suitable nursing areas, may have also contributed to its decline. A reduction in the diversity of baleen whales and a shift in their distribution toward polar regions may have reduced Megalodon's primary food source. A 2019 study reviewed newer evidence suggesting that the competition from the modern great white shark may have also contributed to the extinction of the megalodon. Coupled with range fragmentations resulting in a gradual and synchronous extinction as a result of cooling oceans around 3.6 to 4 million years ago, far earlier than previously assumed. The extinction of the shark appears to affect other animals. For example, the size of the baleen whales increased dramatically after the shark had disappeared. So, next time you're swimming, remember, a great white shark could be swimming a few meters below the surface, above a school of much smaller fish. Or could it be its relative? Now, this last one comes from the beautiful country of Scotland. Yes, I'm talking about the legendary Loch Ness Monster. The Loch Ness Monster, or Nessie, is a cryptid in cryptozoology and Scottish folklore that is said to inhabit Loch Ness in the Scottish Highlands. It is often described as a large, long neck with one or more humps protruding from the water. Popular interest and belief in the creature have varied since it was brought to worldwide attention in 1933. Evidence of its existence is anecdotal, with a number of disputed photographs and sonar readings. The scientific community regards the Loch Ness Monster as a phenomenon without biological basis, explaining sightings as hoax, wishful thinking, and the misidentification of mundane objects. The first modern discussion of a sighting of a strange creature in the loch may have been in the 1870s, when Dr. Mackenzie claimed to have seen something wiggling and churning up the water. This account was not published until 1934. However, research indicates that several newspapers did publish items about a creature in the loch well before 1934. The best known article that first attracted a great deal of attention about a creature was published on May 2, 1933 in Inverness Courier about a large beast or whale-like fish. The article by Alex Campbell, water bailiff for Loch Ness and a part-time journalist, discussed a sighting by Aldi McKay of an enormous creature with the body of a whale rolling in the waters in Loch while she and her husband, John, were driving on the A82 on April 15, 1933. The word monster was purportedly applied for the first time in Campbell's article, although some reports claim that it was coined by editor Evan Barron. Here's a little history. The earliest reports of a monster in the vicinity of Loch Ness appeared in the Life of Saint Columba by Adomon, written in the 16th century AD. According to Adomon, writing about a century after the events described, Irish monk Saint Columba was staying in the land of the Picts with his companion when he encountered local residents burning a man by the river Ness. They explained that the man was swimming in the river when he was attacked by a water beast that mauled him and dragged him underwater. They had tried to rescue him in a boat, but was killed. Columba sent his follower, named Luini Moku Men, to swim across the river. The beast approached him, but Columba made the sign of the cross and said, "Go no further. Do not touch the man. Go back at once." The creature stopped as he was being pulled back by ropes and fled. And Columba's men and the Picts gave thanks for what they perceived as a miracle. Believers in the monster point to this story set in the river Ness rather than the loch itself as evidence for the creature's existence as early as the 6th century. Skeptics question the narrative's reliability, noting that the water beast stories were extremely common in medieval hagiography, and Adomon's tale probably recycled a common motif attached to a local landmark, according to skeptics. If we talk about Nessie, we also have to mention the surgeon's photograph. The surgeon's photograph is reportedly the first photo of the creature's head and neck, supposedly taken by Robert Kenneth Wilson, a London gynecologist. It was published in the Daily Mail on April 21, 1934. Wilson's refusal to have his name associated with it led to it being known as the surgeon's photograph. According to Wilson, he was looking at the Loch Ness when he saw the monster, grabbed his camera, and snapped 4 pictures. Only 2 exposures came out clearly. The first reportedly shows a small head and back, and the second shows a similar head in a diving position. The first photo became well known, and the second attracted very little publicity because of its blurriness. For 60 years, the photo was considered evidence of the monster's existence, although skeptics dismissed it as driftwood, an elephant, an otter, or a bird. The photo scale was controversial. It is often shown cropped, making the creature seem large and the ripples like waves, while the uncropped shot shows the other end of the loch and the monster in the center. The ripples in the photo found to fit the size and pattern of small ripples rather than large waves photographed up close. Analysis of the original image fostered further doubt. In 1993, the makers of the Discovery Communication documentary The Loch Ness Discovered analyzed an uncropped image and found a white object visible in every version of the photo, implying that it was on the negative. It was believed to be the cause of the ripples as if an object was being towed, although the possibility of a blemish on the negative could not be ruled out. An analysis of the full photograph indicates that the object was small, about 60 to 90 centimeters, 2 to 3 feet long. Little is known of the second photo. It is often ignored by the researchers who believe its quality is too poor and the differences from the first photograph too great to warrant analysis. It shows a head similar to the first photo with a more turbulent wave pattern and possibly taken at a different time and location in the loch. Some believe it to be an earlier, cruder attempt at a hoax, and others consider it a picture of a diving bird or otter that Wilson mistook for the monster. According to the developer of the photo, when the plates were developed, Wilson was uninterested in the second photo. He allowed the developer to keep the negative, and the photo was rediscovered years later. But Nessie, the legend, and the sightings continue to this day. Hey, if you ever get away and visit Scotland and happen to go to Loch Ness, do me a favor. Tell Nessie Papa Voodoo says hello. Well, I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and remember, always have an open mind in life and learn as much as you can. If you enjoyed my videos, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified of future videos. And as always, you have the knowledge. What you do with it is all up to you. Until next time, good night, my children.